All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty mind-blowing. OpenAI's O1.
Oh, one. It's not just another AI model.
Right, it's not just another one of those. This one's got people talking, and for good reason. We're talking a family of large language models. But here's the kicker. Trained with reinforcement learning.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, it's designed to reason. Like actually think things through, step by step, before giving you an answer.
Yeah, it's kind of like, imagine you could see the gears turning, right? Like instead of just getting an answer, you get to see how it got there.
That's a great way to put it. And that's huge, not just for performance, but for really understanding how these systems tick.
Exactly. Transparency, interpretability, all that.
Okay, so let's talk about how it actually works. The star of the show here is what they call chain of thought reasoning, COT for short. What's the deal with that?
So instead of just, spitting out an answer, O1 actually lays out its reasoning process, almost like, a human would solve a problem.
Got it, like showing your work.
Exactly, showing its work. So it might say something like, okay, first I considered this, but because of that, I realized this other thing, which led me to conclude this.
So it's not just about getting the right answer, it's about explaining how it got there, like a good student.
Exactly.
But on a technical level, how does this actually work? Is it really thinking?
Yeah.
Or is there some, clever programming trickery going on behind the scenes?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, O1 doesn't think in the same way that we do, obviously.
Right.
But this whole chain of thought thing, it's designed to mimic how we solve problems.
Yeah.
Breaking down a complex question into smaller steps.
So it's like training wheels for AI.
Yeah.
Helping it learn to think more systematically.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Yeah.
And that has huge implications, especially when you start thinking about AI safety.
Right. That's a big one these days. And OpenAI seems to be really focused on that. They even talk about this concept of COTI deception monitoring.
Mm-hmm.
What is that all about?
Okay, so these models are trained on massive amounts of data, right?
Right. Tons of data.
And they're constantly learning and evolving, so there's always this possibility of unintended consequences. Or even the model, finding creative ways to achieve its goals.
So they're basically trying to make sure O1 stays on the straight and narrow, even as it gets smarter.
Exactly. Making sure it doesn't go off the rails.
Okay, that makes sense. It's reassuring to know they're thinking about that. But let's shift gears for a second. Let's talk about what O1 can actually do.
So based on OpenAI's own evaluations, it's pretty impressive. Like, for starters, it's really good at following instructions.
Okay, that's helpful.
And formatting its responses in a way that makes sense.
So not just understanding what you're asking, but how you want the information presented.
Exactly.
That's super practical.
And then there's the whole jailbreak thing.
Jailbreaks. Remind me what those are.
Oh, yeah. So that's when someone tries to trick the AI into, doing something it shouldn't, something that violates its safety guidelines.
Ah, right, like finding a loophole.
Exactly.
So O1 is tougher to trick.
Yeah, much tougher. They actually tested it on this benchmark called Strong Reject, and the results are really promising. It's much harder to manipulate than previous models.
Okay, so they're making progress there.
Big time. And another big thing is O1 is much better at adhering to those safety policies we were talking about, like avoiding harmful or unethical responses.
Built-in moral compass, basically.
Something like that.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But how does it compare to, GPT-4o? We've heard so much about GPT-4o's capabilities. How does O1 stack up?
It actually holds its own pretty well. For example, with the jailbreak resistance we were talking about, O1 is way tougher to crack. And they also tested its multilingual capabilities using the MMLU test.
Multilingual, how many languages are we talking?
14, including some less common ones like Yoruba.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it performed well across the board,
Yeah.
understanding and generating text in all these different languages.
A true polyglot AI. What about those hallucinations we were talking about earlier?
Oh, right, where the AI makes stuff up.
Yeah. Has O1 managed to curb that tendency?
It seems so. I mean, no AI is perfect, but O1 does appear to hallucinate less often than its predecessors.
So it's getting better at sticking to the facts.
Definitely. And again, I think the chain of thought reasoning plays a role there. By forcing it to think step by step, it's more likely to catch inconsistencies before just, making something up.
Like a built-in fact checker.
Exactly.
Okay, so it sounds like O1 is making some serious strides. But even with all these advancements, there have to be challenges.
Of course. No technology is perfect.
So even with this chain of thought reasoning, there are still risks.
Absolutely. That's why OpenAI is taking a very cautious approach with O1. Constant testing, constant refining to make it as safe and reliable as possible.
And didn't they bring in some outside help for that? I remember something about external red teaming.
Yeah. They brought in independent experts to basically try to break it, like find any weaknesses or vulnerabilities that could be exploited.
Smart move.
Hmm.
So what did they find?
Well, a couple things. Sometimes O1 provides too much information, when a simple refusal would be safer. And some of its refusals can be a bit blunt, lacking a bit of that helpful context for users.
So it's a balancing act, being informative but not too informative?
Exactly.
Sounds like creating a truly robust and safe AI is still a work in progress.
It definitely is. But the exciting thing about O1 is that it's designed for what they call iterative deployment.
Meaning?
They're releasing it cautiously, learning from real-world use, and constantly making improvements.
So they're basically saying, hey, we're not claiming O1 is perfect, but we're committed to making it better over time.
Exactly. And to make sure that happens, they've got this preparedness framework in place. It's all about anticipating and mitigating risks as O1 evolves.
So what kind of risks are they looking at?
Everything from cybersecurity and biosecurity to, well, even things like persuasion and model autonomy.
Whoa, that's a broad range. Let's break those down a bit.
Sure. So cybersecurity, that's pretty straightforward, right? We don't want O1 being used to hack systems or steal data.
Makes sense. But what about biosecurity? How does that fit in?
So biosecurity is all about preventing misuse of biological agents or technology, things that could, pose a threat to public health.
Right, okay.
OpenAI is making sure O1 can't be manipulated to help create bioweapons or spread dangerous stuff like that.
Definitely getting into some scary territory there.
Yeah, it's serious stuff. And then there's the persuasion aspect.
You mean like O1 being used for propaganda or manipulating people?
Exactly. They're testing how persuasive its arguments are, making sure it can't be used to, influence people in harmful ways.
Okay, I can see why that's a concern. An AI that can write really convincing arguments could be a powerful tool.
Very powerful. And then there's the model autonomy thing.
Autonomy. So like, could O1 become self-aware and decide to act on its own?
Not necessarily self-aware in the way we think about it, but the concern is, could it develop the ability to act independently, pursue goals that maybe aren't aligned with what we want?
So they're trying to make sure O1 stays a helpful tool and doesn't go rogue.
Exactly. Keeping it under control.
Sounds like a delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
So how are they doing so far? What's the overall assessment of O1 in terms of these risks?
Well, based on their evaluations, it's classified as a medium risk overall, specifically in the areas of persuasion and biosecurity.
Okay, so not a complete green light, but not a red alert either.
Right. And they're being very transparent about all of this. They're actively addressing these challenges and want the community involved in the conversation.
That's good to hear, because this isn't just about the tech itself, it's about how we use it, what kind of future we want to build with it.
Couldn't agree more. It's a powerful tool, but it's up to us to make sure it's used for good.
It's really impressive how OpenAI is tackling these challenges.
Yeah.
It's like they're not just building a powerful AI, they're also thinking about the guardrails, the safety measures.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very responsible approach.
But I want to go back to this chain of thought thing for a second. CoT.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a fundamental shift in how AI works. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. For so long, AI felt like this black box, We knew it could do amazing things, but we didn't really understand how.
Right. It was like magic.
Exactly. But now, with CoT, it's like we're starting to see the gears turning. We can actually understand the AI's logic.
It's like we've gone from just giving commands
Yeah.
to actually having conversation with it.
Yeah, it's more of a collaboration.
And that opens up so many possibilities. Like, imagine in scientific research, being able to bounce ideas off an AI.
Oh, absolutely. Seeing its thought process, gaining new insights.
It's like having a super smart research partner.
Exactly. And think about education. Students could learn so much from seeing how an AI approaches a problem.
It's like having the ultimate tutor, one that can show you how to think, not just give you the answer.
Exactly. And then there's the creative applications. Writers, artists, musicians.
It's like having a co-creator, one that never runs out of ideas.
Right. The possibilities are truly endless. But of course, we have to remember, with all this potential comes responsibility.
Absolutely. And that's what I appreciate about OpenAI. They seem to be really focused on the ethical side of things.
Yeah, they're not just throwing this technology out there and seeing what happens. They're thinking about the long-term implications.
Which is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking about shaping the future here.
We are. And it's a future that's going to require a lot of careful thought and collaboration. As Owen continues to learn and evolve, will need to constantly reassess, adapt. It's a journey, not a destination.
Well said. It's like we're all exploring this uncharted territory together, and O1 is our guide, leading us to new discoveries. But we have to be mindful, be prepared for the unexpected. Okay, enough about the future for now. Let's get back to the nuts and bolts.
Sounds good.
In the research paper on O1, they talk about how it was trained using something called reinforcement learning.
Ah, yes. Reinforcement learning.
Can you break that down for us? What is that exactly?
Sure. So reinforcement learning is this really interesting type of machine learning. It's where the AI learns by interacting with its environment.
Yeah.
And it gets feedback in the form of rewards or penalties. Think of it like training a dog. You give it a treat when it does something good.
Right, positive reinforcement.
Exactly. And maybe a little scolding when it does something bad. Over time, the dog learns to associate certain actions with good or bad outcomes.
So it's like trial and error, but for AI.
You got it. In O1's case, the environment is all the data it's trained on, and the rewards are signals that tell it when it's doing a good job.
And what kind of rewards are we talking about? Like virtual pats on the head?
Not quite. It's more abstract than that. It could be things like getting closer to the desired output, generating text that's factually accurate, or avoiding responses that violate those safety guidelines.
So the researchers are basically shaping Olin's behavior by carefully designing these rewards.
Exactly. They're guiding it towards the desired outcomes. And the cool thing about reinforcement learning is it allows AI to learn much more complex tasks than traditional methods.
Traditional methods, you mean like supervised learning?
Right. With supervised learning, you're basically feeding the AI labeled data, telling it what to look for.
Like showing it pictures of cats and dogs and saying, this is a cat, this is a dog?
Exactly. It's all about pattern recognition.
Got it.
But with reinforcement learning, you don't have to provide all the answers up front. You just set the goals and let the AI figure out the best way to achieve them.
It's like giving it a map and a compass and saying, go explore.
Perfect analogy. And that's why it's so powerful. It allows AI to learn and adapt in much more dynamic and complex environments.
That makes sense. But it also sounds pretty challenging to implement.
Oh, it definitely is, especially with a model as sophisticated as O1. It takes a lot of expertise, a lot of fine-tuning.
So it's not just about raw computing power. It's about the human element, the ingenuity behind the training process.
Exactly. It's a blend of cutting-edge technology and human creativity. We're pushing the boundaries of what's possible while also grappling with the ethical implications.
It's like we're writing a new chapter in human history, and AI is playing a starring role.
And with models like O1 leading the way, it's a chapter that's filled with both promise and uncertainty. It's going to be an exciting ride.
It's amazing, right, to think how far AI has come. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that this whole idea of an AI actually reasoning, like O1 does, seemed like pure science fiction.
I know. It's incredible, and we're just getting started.
That's what's both exciting and, well, a little bit daunting. We've talked about some of the risks, but it feels like we're just scratching the surface. What are some of the, bigger picture concerns people have about advanced AI like O1?
Well, one of the big ones is bias.
Right, because these models are trained on massive amounts of data.
Exactly. And that data can reflect, existing biases in society. So if we're not careful, we could end up with AI systems that perpetuate those biases.
That makes sense. It's like that saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. So researchers are working on ways to make sure the training data is as diverse and representative as possible.
So it's not just a technical challenge, it's a societal one, too.
Absolutely. And then there's the whole impact on employment.
Yeah.
As AI gets more capable, there's this worry that it could automate a lot of jobs that humans currently do.
Yeah, the robots are coming for our jobs. We've all heard that one.
But I think it's more nuanced than that. It's not about AI replacing humans. It's about AI augmenting human capabilities.
So working with AI, not against it.
Exactly. And that's where education and collaboration come in. We need to educate people about AI, its potential, its limitations, and we need to work together to make sure it's used for good.
I think that's a great point. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about its future.
Right. And the more we collaborate, the more likely we are to create a future where AI actually benefits everyone.
That's a great note to end on. A future where AI is a force for good. It's a future that's both exciting and challenging, but definitely worth striving for.
I agree. It's a future we can create together.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of O1. It's been a fascinating conversation.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, remember, the future of AI is in our hands. Let's make it a good one. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and keep asking those big questions. This is The Deep Dive, signing off.